Kenosha, a city of about 100,000 that lies between Chicago and Milwaukee, has become the latest flashpoint of racial unrest after a black man was shot and wounded by police. John Yang has the story.
Protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin escalated overnight with police using tear gas to disperse the growing crowds. A city truck was set on fire, buildings were vandalized, and there were standoffs with police. Daylight revealed more of the damage. Row upon row of cars torched at a dealership, most of them destroyed. It all followed an incident caught on video, which appeared to show police shooting 29-year-old Jacob Blake multiple times in the back. Police say they had responded to a domestic disturbance. Eyewitnesses said Blake's children were in the car. Blake was taken to the hospital. State officials took charge of the investigation. Today, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers called a special session of the Wisconsin legislature.
We must see the trauma, fear, and exhaustion of being black in our state and our country. But equally important to our empathy is our action. As family members, as friends, as neighbors, as people, the duty to act rests on all of us, and perhaps most importantly, on us as elected officials.
It comes amid a summer of nationwide protests over the police killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, among others. On Saturday in Lafayette, Louisiana, there were calls for justice for another black man, Trayford Pellerin, fatally shot by police responding to a disturbance.
In a Facebook post, Blake's father said his son is in stable condition after surgery. And tonight in Kenosha, about 125 members of the Wisconsin National Guard are assisting local officials. Zach Rodriguez is a member of the Kenosha County Board of Supervisors, and he joins us now. Thanks for being with us, Supervisor Rodriguez. As you've been out and about in the community, I'm sure you were out and about last night and again today. What are you hearing? What are people telling you? What's the mood?
There's a lot of different moods going on tonight in this community I call home. There's anger, resentment, sadness, and more than anything, there's a lot of questions.
Questions about what happened, about why it happened the way it did?
Correct. What happened? Why did it happen? And why did it happen that way?
What was your reaction when you saw the video? What was your reaction?
My heart dropped into my gut, and I think that's a reaction of any decent person out there, regardless of who is firing a firearm and who is the victim or on the receiving end of that. It troubles you.
The Governor Evers has called a special session of the legislature to deal with some transparency and accountability legislation for police statewide. Mm-hmm. How is that going to, do you think, address that anger and resentment that you say you feel in your community?
I've heard about the governor calling a special session, but I haven't read more into it yet. What I think is important is we need community members to be part of committees, part of oversight committees, where our communities know as a whole that our police are being, overseen by, a board that's made up of the community that they police. So that we take it outside of the police department, and it's not just handled in-house, whether it's promotions or discipline or, God forbid, a situation like we find ourselves in today.
What locally will be done as you move forward? The Wisconsin Justice Department is now involved or in charge of this investigation. They've got a 30-day timeline to report back. What's going to be happening in the county and in the city to move forward now?
I think right now we're waiting. We're waiting to see, when the DCI from the State Department of Criminal Investigations finishes their investigation, and I expect that to take some time. We go from there. We wait for the DA. We see if he decides to file charges or not based on that evidence. But we've taken steps at the county level. I introduced legislation as a co-sponsor that made the promise to buy body cameras for our sheriff's deputies with this upcoming budget. We declared public health or racism a public health crisis, and so we've taken these proactive steps to try to prevent a situation like this from happening in Kenosha County. And tragically, we found ourselves in this situation last night.
Were you surprised that it took the turn it did last night, setting a car dealership on fire, attempts to start fires in the courthouse, the sort of damage that was done last night?
Am I surprised? No. Am I disheartened? Yes. And I think our community as a whole is disheartened. I was on the scene of where the shooting happened last night prior to being downtown. And there were multiple people, out there saying, hey, we're here to protest. We're here to, create lasting change. But that doesn't, call for jumping on police cars, lighting them on fire, starting, breaking glass, looting, and destroying our community that we call home.
Zach Rodriguez of the Kenosha County Board of Supervisors in Kenosha County, Wisconsin. Thank you very much.
Thank you.